In this section, we will delve into effective negotiation strategies and techniques that can be applied to furniture sales. We will discuss techniques for building rapport, listening actively, handling objections, and reaching win-win agreements. Building rapport and trust. Building rapport and trust is essential for productive negotiations. We will explore techniques for creating a positive atmosphere, demonstrating empathy, and establishing a connection with the other party. By building rapport, you can foster a collaborative environment that increases the likelihood of reaching mutually beneficial agreements. Create a positive atmosphere. Set a positive tone by being friendly, approachable, and welcoming. Begin the negotiation with a warm greeting and establish a comfortable environment. Show genuine interest in the other party's perspectives and aim to create a collaborative atmosphere where both parties feel comfortable in their thoughts and concerns. Active listening. Practice active listening by giving the other party your full attention. Maintain eye contact, nod in agreement, and use verbal cues to demonstrate that you are engaged in the conversation. Show empathy and understanding by reflecting back their statements or summarizing their key points. This conveys that you value their input and are genuinely interested in their perspective. Find common ground. Look for shared interests, goals, or values that you and the other party can align on. Highlight these areas of common ground to establish a sense of connection and foster a collaborative mindset. By emphasizing shared objectives, you can demonstrate that you are working towards a mutually beneficial outcome. Demonstrate empathy. Show empathy by acknowledging the other party's emotions, concerns, and perspectives. Put yourself in their shoes and try to understand their underlying motivations. Use empathetic statements such as "I understand how you feel," or "I can see why that is important to you." This demonstrates that you value their feelings and concerns and creates an environment of trust. Share information transparently. Be open and transparent in your communication. Share relevant information, such as data, facts, or market insights, to support your arguments and build credibility. Avoid withholding information or using deceptive tactics, as this can erode trust. Transparency builds trust and allows both parties to make informed decisions based on accurate information. Build on small agreements. Look for areas of agreement, even on minor issues, and build on them. Acknowledge and celebrate these agreements as they contribute to a positive atmosphere and create a sense of progress. This approach fosters trust and encourages a collaborative mindset throughout the negotiation process. Follow through on commitments. Honor any commitments or promises made during the negotiation. By demonstrating reliability and keeping your word, you build trust and credibility. Follow through on agreed-upon actions promptly and efficiently, as this reinforces the notion that you are trustworthy and committed to finding mutually beneficial solutions. Maintain professionalism. Conduct yourself with professionalism throughout the negotiation process. Be respectful, courteous, and considerate in your interactions, even when facing challenging situations. Avoid personal attacks, defensiveness, or aggressive behavior, as this can damage rapport and hinder productive negotiations. Build long-term relationships. View negotiations as an opportunity to build long-term relationships rather than solely focusing on immediate outcomes. Consider the potential for future collaborations and seek win-win solutions that benefit both parties. By prioritizing relationship building, you establish a foundation of trust that can lead to continued success beyond the current negotiation. Remember that building rapport and trust takes time and effort. It requires active engagement, effective communication, and a genuine interest in understanding the other party's needs. By investing in relationship building during negotiations, you lay the groundwork for successful outcomes and establish a solid foundation for future interactions. Active listening is crucial for understanding the other party's needs, concerns, and preferences. We will discuss techniques for listening actively, asking clarifying questions, and summarizing key points. By actively listening and understanding, you can tailor your negotiation approach and address the other party's underlying motivations. Give your full attention. Focus solely on the speaker and eliminate distractions. Maintain eye contact and avoid interrupting. Show genuine interest in what the other party is saying by leaning forward and nodding occasionally. By giving your full attention, you signal that their words are important to you. Listen actively. Engage in active listening by actively processing and interpreting the information being conveyed. Pay attention to both verbal and nonverbal cues, such as tone of voice, body language, and facial expressions. This helps you gain a comprehensive understanding of the other party's message. Ask clarifying questions. Seek clarification when necessary to ensure you fully understand the other party's perspective. Ask open-ended questions that encourage them to elaborate on their thoughts and provide additional details. This demonstrates your commitment to understanding their viewpoint and helps prevent misunderstandings. Paraphrase and summarize. Paraphrase the other party's statements to confirm your understanding. Repeat their key points in your own words to ensure accurate comprehension. Summarize their main arguments periodically to demonstrate that you are actively following the conversation and to highlight areas of agreement or disagreement. Reflect and validate. Reflect the speaker's feelings and emotions to show empathy and understanding. Use phrases like "it seems like you're concerned about," or "I can understand why you would feel that way." Validating their perspective helps foster a sense of trust and encourages open communication. Avoid preconceived assumptions. Approach the negotiation with an open mind and avoid making assumptions or judgments based on prior experiences or biases. Stay receptive to new information and be willing to adapt your understanding as the negotiation progresses. This allows for a more nuanced, accurate understanding of the other party's needs and motivations. Seek to understand motivations. Look beyond the surface-level positions and try to identify the underlying motivations and interests of the other party. By understanding their underlying needs, fears, or desires, you can better tailor your negotiation approach and propose solutions that address their core concerns. Practice empathy. Put yourself in the other party's shoes and try to see the situation from their perspective. Imagine how you would feel or react if you were in their position. This empathetic approach helps you develop a deeper understanding of their concerns and enhances your ability to find mutually beneficial solutions. Take notes. Take notes during the negotiation to capture important points and details. This not only helps you remember the discussion but also demonstrates your attentiveness and commitment to understanding the other party's perspective. By actively listening and seeking to understand, you demonstrate respect, empathy, and a genuine desire to find mutually beneficial outcomes. These techniques enable you to tailor your negotiation strategy, address the other party's needs effectively, and work towards achieving a successful resolution. Objections are common in negotiations, and knowing how to handle them effectively is key. We will explore techniques for addressing objections with empathy, providing evidence-based responses, and reframing objections as opportunities. By addressing objections skillfully, you can overcome resistance and keep the negotiation process moving forward. Listen and acknowledge. Give the other party an opportunity to express their objection fully. Listen actively and acknowledge their concerns without interrupting. Show empathy by using phrases like "I understand your point" or "I appreciate your perspective." This demonstrates your willingness to consider their viewpoint. Clarify and seek understanding. Ask clarifying questions to gain a deeper understanding of the objection. Encourage the other party to elaborate on their concerns and provide specific examples or evidence supporting their position. This helps you uncover the root cause of the objection and gather information to address it effectively. Respond with evidence and benefits. Provide evidence-based responses that address the objection directly. Use facts, data, case studies, or testimonials to support your position. Highlight the benefits or value proposition of your proposal, emphasizing how it aligns with the other party's interests and by presenting strong evidence and focusing on the benefits, you can alleviate their concerns and build credibility. Reframe the objection as an opportunity. Instead of viewing objections as roadblocks, reframe them as opportunities for clarification and negotiation. Acknowledge the objection and then redirect the conversation to explore how it can be resolved or turned into a win-win situation. This technique helps shift the focus from disagreement to finding common ground and working towards a solution. Offer alternative solutions. If the objection is valid and requires a different approach, be flexible and offer alternative solutions. Brainstorm together with the other party to explore options that address their concerns while still achieving your objectives. By demonstrating a willingness to collaborate and find creative solutions, you increase the chances of reaching a mutually satisfactory agreement. Maintain a positive and collaborative tone. Respond to objections in a positive and professional manner. Avoid becoming defensive or confrontational, as this can escalate tension. Instead, focus on maintaining a collaborative tone and fostering an atmosphere of open dialogue. This encourages the party to share their objections more freely and increases the likelihood of finding common ground. Seek win-win solutions. Aim to find win-win solutions that address both parties' interests and concerns. Look for opportunities to compromise and create mutually beneficial outcomes. By showing a genuine commitment to finding a solution that satisfies both parties, you foster a cooperative environment and build trust. Follow up and clarify. After addressing the objection, follow up with the other party to ensure that they are satisfied with the response. Clarify any remaining questions or concerns they may have and provide additional information if needed. This proactive approach demonstrates your commitment to resolving objections, solidifies the negotiation process. Remember, objections are often an indication that the other party is engaged and invested in the negotiation. By handling objections with empathy, evidence-based responses, and a collaborative mindset, you can address concerns effectively and move closer to a successful negotiation outcome. Negotiating win-win agreements is the ideal outcome for both parties involved. We will discuss techniques for exploring creative solutions, focusing on shared interests, and finding compromises that satisfy both parties' needs. By aiming for win-win agreements, you can build trust, strengthen relationships, and foster long-term cooperation. Understand interests and priorities. Start by understanding each party's interests, needs, and priorities. Ask open-ended questions and actively listen to uncover their underlying motivations. By understanding what is truly important to each party, you can identify areas of overlap and shared interests. Explore multiple options. Encourage brainstorming and explore a range of possible solutions. Think creatively and consider different scenarios that address both parties' interests. By expanding the pool of options, you increase the likelihood of finding win-win solutions that satisfy everyone involved. Focus on shared interests. Identify common ground and shared objectives. Highlight the areas where both parties' interests align and emphasize the potential benefits of collaborating on those shared goals. By focusing on shared interests, you can build a foundation for cooperation and collaboration. Consider trade-offs and compromises. Recognize that achieving a win-win outcome often requires trade-offs and compromises. Identify areas where each party can make concessions without compromising their core interests. By finding a balance between competing priorities, you can create a solution that's value to both parties. Use objective criteria. Introduce objective criteria that can guide the decision-making process. This may include market data, industry benchmarks, or established standards. By relying on objective criteria, you can depersonalize the negotiation and create a fair framework for evaluating potential solutions. Collaborate and communicate. Foster open communication and collaboration throughout the negotiation process. Encourage all parties to contribute their ideas and perspectives. Actively listen to each other's concerns and work together to find solutions that meet everyone's needs. By creating an environment of cooperation, you build trust and increase the likelihood of reaching win-win agreements. Maintain flexibility. Be open to revisiting and adjusting the proposed solutions as the negotiation progresses. Flexibility is crucial in finding win-win agreements as it allows for exploration of alternative options and adaptation to changing circumstances. By remaining flexible, you demonstrate your commitment to finding the best possible outcome for all parties involved. Document the agreement. Once a win-win agreement is reached, it is essential to document the terms and ensure clarity for both parties. This includes outlining specific actions, responsibilities, and timelines. By documenting the agreement, you reduce the chances of misinterpretation and reinforce commitment to honoring the mutually beneficial solution. Creating win-win agreements requires a collaborative mindset, active communication, and a willingness to explore creative options. By focusing on shared interests, finding compromises, and maintaining open dialogue, you can build strong relationships and achieve outcomes that benefit all parties involved.